So I know you, and so I know you would do that. If we had a week where we did 400 cataracts in patients, you would do that for any one of them.
Yeah.
But you, like exactly what you just said, that sort of service or that level of commitment to the patient, I feel like is very rare because there's so many barriers in today's day and age, so many ways you can come up with excuses like, oh, it's not my fault, the weather was really bad, and if the patient really was having issues, they would come in. But where did you get that level of, like, your first thought wasn't like, It was like you went through a lot to see that patient, shovel the driveway, drive them to clinic. It wasn't just a matter of doing a house call.
Yeah, I think, it's a good question. Maybe it was just fear or pressure of maybe early running my practice. I had bought the practice for my father early on. And from day one, there was this sort of pressure to succeed or make sure the practice was successful. A lot of our referring doctors were judging me compared to my father who had done, probably 100,000 cataracts in his career, and I'm coming in having done 100 out of residency or whatever it was. And so now I'm being compared. I've always had this sort of, pressure to perform, and if I couldn't do it technically, at least, make sure the service was as good. And so it was coming out of that, had, taken out a note, to pay my father back, and sort of had this financial pressure to succeed, personal pressure to succeed. And so any little thing, it's sort of, it just kind of pushed us to make sure that we were meeting or exceeding patient expectations. And some of those opportunities were like that, became evident.
So for how long were you practicing side by side with your father before you bought the practice from him?
So it's interesting. It's pretty quickly he transitioned out. We probably worked together for about 2 or 3 months. But after about 2 or 3 months, he sort of made a decision. At the time, I think he basically saw the path for my success was going to be turning the practice over as quickly as possible. He sort of realized that if referring doctors or patients had a choice of senior Wiley or junior Wiley, they were going to choose senior Wiley 9 out of 10 times. So he said, you know what, if I exit quickly, the choice will be, just, Bill Wiley. And I think that, he did his best to kind of get me up to speed surgically and clinically and running the business. But as soon as he felt comfortable, it was like 2 or 3 months, he said, okay, I'm going to exit, and thus, just have sort of one choice. And in a way, it was very good. It got me busy quickly, but it was also a fair amount of pressure early on. So there was some good and bad about it. But I think in retrospect, I think he may have enjoyed working longer, but I think it was in a way a gift from him to me to pass the torch quickly and to sort of jumpstart my career.